Hey everybody. Well, I'm on my way to McDonald's to pick up dinner for the family, and something just happened a moment ago. I don't know why. You know how sometimes certain things can trigger memories? It's a very curious thing. And there wasn't any connection, but I passed it. I went around a corner over there, and there was a taxi. It had nothing to do with the memory. Taxi, and a man getting out. I had to stop and wait to go around. I'm sorry, I try not to talk too fast. I'm kind of excited right now in a bad way. For some reason, that sitting there waiting for that taxi brought back a memory that I have. That it's one of the memories that I have from my years of hitchhiking. I remember that, I don't remember exactly where it is. I'm not going to tell you what the memory is. I'll tell you why I won't tell you in just a moment. But I want to tell you about the condition of the memory, the circumstance that it has in my life as a piece of baggage in my mind. A terrible, awful, horrible piece of weight, of electron, of synapse configuration that I so wish I could not have. At the same time, I don't ever want to get rid of it because it reminds me of the frailty and the difficulty of the human condition. Years and years ago, when I was hitchhiking as a teenager, somewhere in the southwest, or in the northwest, I was up in the northwest, somewhere between Oregon, Idaho, or somewhere out there, and I stopped at this little town. There was a diner type of a deal, a little restaurant, like a trucker's restaurant, and it wasn't very big, and I was in the outskirts of the town. And as I finished my meal and I was leaving, I noticed some commotion across the road down an embankment, and there was well, I'm not going to go into any more detail than that. I asked a fireman who was there. There's a fire truck and police officers and the like, and I asked, is there, basically I was just curious, what happened? Was there a wreck or something like that? And he told me what happened, and I wish, after having asked him, I wish that I had never asked that question. I wish I had walked on. Excuse me, I'm a little stuffed up with the allergies. I just walked on and never asked. And I apologize in being like this, and I'm not going to tell you guys what he told me, simply because I don't want to burden you, any of you, with the weight of the memory of what this is, because the story, something really terrible had happened on the other side of it. It wasn't an accident. Something really, in human scale, in terms of horror, true horror, not Freddy Krueger stuff, real human horror, right there at the top. It happened on the other side of the road. Sometime within the time that I had gone in to have that meal, it was happening over there. And I was, when he told me what had happened, I was set back on my, nearly lost. My legs went weak, gummy with loss of emotion, and ever since that time, that memory I thought about it a lot for the days and the weeks ahead that followed. And I've carried that, and I got that memory when I was in my teens. And I'm 48, almost 48 now. And every so often, every couple of years, that memory, let me turn this heater off, the noise, I'm sorry about the noise. Every so often, that memory rises to the surface. Typically without any provocation. There really is nothing that could possibly provoke it properly. There's nothing. I can't imagine anything like that ever happening again. Lightning striking, so to speak, twice in the same thing. But for some reason, certain things bring it to mind. And often, what I've noticed is that these things don't have anything to do with the incident itself. It had nothing. What happened on the other side of that road had nothing to do with taxis or Japan or anything like that. It certainly had nothing to do with lightning. But it was there. And it comes up, and it just happened, 10 minutes ago, and it was the first time that it had happened in a couple of years. And every time it comes up, it's like renewing the horror all over again in my mind. And it's Friday evening, I've got the weekend ahead of me, and I know that I'll be thinking about this throughout the week, through the weekend, until it'll drift away from my mind. And a couple of years from now, some small incident will occur and it will bring it back. And I wonder at the connection of why that is. I'm sure that the reason the memory doesn't fade completely is because of the intensity of it. But why does it seem to want to resurface for seemingly disconnected nonsense events that seem to occur? Is it because I can't bear to get rid of it because of the weight that it brings to bear on the reality of what it is to be human and the pain that people can go through? Perhaps. I don't know. I'm going to think some more about it. But I was prompted as it happened, prompted to turn the camera on, but and share with you the fact. I didn't want to share that. It wasn't the incident that I wanted to share with you. I don't talk about that kind of stuff typically, but it was the way that this memory seems to be a ghost in the machine, one that will has a will of its own in some ways, and doesn't seem to answer to any particular provocation, and simply wants to be acknowledged from time to time. I wonder if others have the same experience. I'm sure that they do, because we share a similar biology. Well, thank you for listening. I'm sorry to be so tantalizing in sharing, telling you that there's something terrible. Ooh, how terrible! I've got the lights on in that guy's window. It's something terrible, and not share with you the story. Trust me, nobody needs to know about what happened on the other side of that road. Nobody that didn't have to be there. Take care, everybody. Have a great day. Hope your weekend is great. I hope you don't trouble with any troublesome memories or terrible memories. Take care. Bye-bye.